of the job of a designer is marketing, and creating content is a necessary evil. Every designer I work with asks me the same question. Is YouTube a platform I want to create content on? And I want to give you the honest answer, not the hype version, the real one. I'm not trying to sell you a YouTube course. I've also spent thousands of dollars on coaching and courses to develop my YouTube channel over my YouTube journey. YouTube is one platform that most designers dismiss too fast. And the reason they dismiss it is that they don't understand what it actually is. In this video, I'm going to cover who is winning in the design space on YouTube and what they are actually doing, how they monetize, and whether it genuinely leads to client projects, the real barriers to entry, and the steps to take if you decide to go for it. And if this sounds like a conversation you want to have, go ahead and hit like before we dive in. And if you've got any questions that aren't answered in the video, drop them in the comments. I'd love to answer your questions. A quick note before we get into it. Every resource I mention in this video, plus my full free AI course for interior designers and a growing library of templates and tools, is sitting inside my free community, the Design Success Circle. The link is in the description. So here is what I'm hearing from a lot of designers right now. Maybe you're posting on Instagram or TikTok, you're showing up, you're consistent, and it's eating your time, and the inquiries are not matching the effort, or they're inconsistent. Some months are fine, other months you're wondering where the next project is coming from. So you start looking around and someone mentions YouTube, and you're thinking, is this actually worth it? Or is it just more content I have to make? And that is exactly the question this video answers. So here is the thing that changes the entire conversation about YouTube, and most designers completely miss this. YouTube is not a social media platform, it's a search engine, the second biggest search engine in the world, right behind Google, and Google owns it. And that matters because of what it means for your content. A reel you post today has roughly 24 to 48 hours of shelf life, maybe 72 if it catches. A TikTok is exactly the same. You are posting into a feed and that feed moves on. A YouTube video you publish today, say on how to choose a sofa layout for a small living room, can be getting views and driving inquiries 3 years from now, because someone will search that question tomorrow and the next month and the next year, and YouTube will serve your video in the results if it answers the question. And that is what we mean when we say YouTube is evergreen. The work you put in once keeps working for you long after you've moved on to the next thing, and no other platform does it on the same scale. And that is a business case for YouTube in one sentence. Now, let's look at what that actually looks like in practice. The first thing I want to address is the landscape, because the names that usually come up when you search interior design YouTube are not necessarily the right benchmark for you. You will find channels like Rebecca Robeson at 1.4 million subscribers and Shara Stevens around 879,000 subscribers, who are mother and daughter, by the way. And both are real designers, both built real audiences. But if you look closely at what they make, it's content for homeowners, room makeovers, styling tips, before and afters, affordable decorating ideas for people who want to do it themselves. That is a different business model to what most professional designers are running, and chasing that kind of scale is not the point. The more relevant examples are quieter, but they are doing something more interesting. Lauren Lease runs a design studio in Virginia. Her YouTube channel sits around 52,000 subscribers. It's not a mega channel, but it's part of a brand that includes design practice, books, product lines, and an HGTV show. The channel does not need to reach 1 million people. It needs to reach the right people. Another example is Georgina Wilson. She's a principal architect in Sydney, and her channel is around 84,000 subscribers. She started making content after COVID, despite, by her own admission, being terrified of public speaking. What she creates is not tutorials for homeowners wanting to DIY their own homes. It's content about the importance of good design, the difference between good and bad architectural decisions, and the things that matter when you're building or renovating. Her audience are people who are planning a project and want to understand what they should be asking for. That's not a homeowner audience. That is a client pipeline. So here's the thing. The goal for a designer using YouTube is not to scale for its own sake. It's positioning. A channel with 60,000 of the right subscribers, people who are planning a renovation, buying a home, or looking for a designer at your level, is worth significantly more to your business than 600,000 people who want to know how to restyle their bookshelf on a budget. Moving on to the next thing. This is the one that surprises a lot of designers. YouTube ad revenue on its own is not the strategy. Let me get clear on that up front. To access the YouTube Partner Program, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. That is your entry point to ad revenue. It may seem a lot to you or a little, but once you are there, a channel in the interior design space with around 100,000 subscribers might earn somewhere between 2,000 and 10,000 a month from ads alone, depending on the audience engagement and the content type. That range is wide because there are many variables, but the point is this: ad revenue is a bonus and not the foundation. The designers building real income on YouTube are doing it through multiple streams. And here is what those actually look like. Now, brand sponsorships can be the first layer. Once you have an engaged audience, furniture brands, paint companies, design software platforms, home decor brands will pay to be featured in your content. For a design channel, the audience and the product are completely aligned, which make you attractive to those brands, even at a smaller subscriber count than you might expect. Affiliate marketing is the second. Platforms like LTK and Amazon Storefront let you link every product you mention in a video. You earn a commission when someone buys through your link, and in a niche where you are recommending sofas, tiles, lighting, and appliances, those commissions can add up. And some furniture affiliate programs pay up to 30%. The third is digital products and courses. This is where the most significant income sits for designers who have scaled their channels. Rebecca Robeson and Shara Stevens built an entire course business called Kinwoven on the back of their YouTube audience. It includes 70 hours of content teaching homeowners how to design their own spaces. The YouTube channel brought the audience and the courses monetized them. And the fourth is using YouTube as a direct lead generation tool for your actual design services, which brings me to the next point. Does YouTube actually lead to real client projects? So here's the thing, and I want to be honest with you here because I have seen this question answered in both directions online. And the answer is yes, and it depends. So yes, YouTube can and does lead to real client projects. Rebecca Robeson has been explicit about this. She has said her channel allows potential clients to experience who she is and how she works before they ever contact her. Her firm handles residential projects from $250,000 to $20 million. The clients who come from her YouTube channel arrive pre-sold. They already know her aesthetic. They already know how she thinks. They already trust her. And that is a very different inquiry than someone who found you on Instagram. And that's the real value of long-form video for a design business. You can't build that depth of relationship in a 30-second reel. You can't convey how you think, how you approach a brief, and what your process looks like in a carousel post. YouTube gives you the time to actually demonstrate your expertise, and the people who watch 10 or 20 minutes of your content or start to binge watch your content are genuinely interested. But here's the nuance. The bigger a channel gets, the more income tends to shift away from client work and towards courses, projects, and brand deals. And these two are not in conflict, but they are different destinations. YouTube can feed your client roster, or it can evolve into its own income stream that runs alongside your practice. That is a decision worth making consciously, not stumbling into. So before you start a channel, get clear on what you want to do for your business. Lead generation for clients, a direct income stream through digital products, authority building that supports a premium positioning. This platform can serve all three, but the content strategy may be different for each. So let me talk about my own experience. I started getting clients with less than 200 subscribers, so it is possible to make money without a real audience. But you have to note that you have to be clear on exactly who you serve. That sounds pretty easy, right? But heads up, this is the most that YouTube content and coaches gloss over, so I'm going to go straight into it. Unlike Instagram, YouTube is a long game. Most channels take 12 to 18 months of consistent posting before they see meaningful growth. It took me 3 months and 15 videos to get to 100 subscribers, and some creators take longer. The designers who quit at month 4 or 5 are not quitting because YouTube doesn't work. They're quitting because they went in without an honest understanding of the timeline. And here are the real barriers you need to know about. The first is consistency over time, not daily, not even weekly if your schedule can't support it, but regularly. One video a fortnight sustained for 12 months will outperform a burst of 10 videos in 2 months, followed by 4 months of silence. The algorithm rewards channels that show up reliably. So does your audience. Decide on a cadence that fits around your actual work schedule and treat it like a client commitment. And the second is production quality. With Instagram, you can get away with recording content on your phone because you're only trying to engage them for a few seconds. But I want to be direct about this because the advice you'll find elsewhere undersells it. Interior design is a visual industry. Your audience has taste. They're looking at spaces for a living and spending money on those spaces. If your video looks amateurish, that undermines your credibility before you've said a single word. A ring light and an iPhone might work for Instagram, but it's not going to cut it for YouTube. In addition, it's not only the visuals, but also the sound that is really, really important. For a designer building professional authority, the bar is so much higher. At a minimum, you're looking at a real video camera, lighting that is not a single ring on a white wall, and clean audio. That is the starting point, not the ceiling. So have a look at someone like Lauren Lease. You can see her production quality is high. Whoever helps her make videos knows what they are doing. Georgina Wilson's videos are simpler, which indicates that a lot of her content she starts making on Instagram. But they are edited well and position her as a designer with knowledge and authority. Now, the third thing is the editing learning curve. This is a real skill and it takes real time to build. Of course, you can try and use tools like Descript, but I found that sometimes they're just not at that quality yet. I've been making YouTube videos for 3 years and I've edited my own content through most of that because I genuinely enjoy the creative process. But it took me months to get comfortable and around 100 videos before I stopped consulting YouTube for every second decision. You can hire an editor, but be aware there is a cost involved. And there is a point where that makes sense. But until you understand the craft yourself, you can't brief an editor well, and you will not know if the output is right for your channel. The fourth barrier is understanding the platform itself, how YouTube's algorithm actually works, how to script for retention, because retention is the metric that drives everything else on the platform. How thumbnails function psychologically, how to research what people are actually searching for before you plan your content, how to write a description that gets you found. That is its own discipline and it takes time to understand properly. And none of this is said to put you off. It is said so that you go in with a clear picture. The designers who build something real on YouTube are ones who treat it like a craft, not a content dump. The investment is real, but so is the return if you commit to it properly. So what steps do you take if you decide, yes, let's go for it? Here's where to start step by step. Step 1 is to get clear on your angle before you film anything. Who are you talking to and what do you uniquely know? Not your aesthetic, not your portfolio. What problem do you solve and for whom? A designer who works with clients doing full home renovations has a different angle to one who specializes in styling and finishing. And if you're trying to attract people who want interior design services, don't make content like IKEA hacks or DIY. It definitely attracts the wrong type of person. The narrower and more specific you are on the content you make, the easier everything else becomes. This is not about limiting yourself, it's about being findable. Step 2 is keyword research to plan your content. Go to YouTube and start typing in topics that you know well and watch what the autocomplete suggests. These suggestions are real searches from real people. This is your content map. Tools like vidIQ and TubeBuddy can show you search volume and competition for any term. Spend time doing this before you plan your first 10 videos. It will save you months of making content nobody is looking for. Step 3 is to invest properly in your production setup before you film your first video, not after. A mirrorless or DSLR camera, decent lighting that flatters both you and your subject and your background, and a good quality microphone is important. This doesn't have to cost a fortune, but it does require a conscious investment. Think of it the same way you would think about investing in your design software or your sample library. It's a professional tool and it should look like one. Step 4 is to sort out your brand basics. Consistent channel art, a clear profile description, and a thumbnail style that is recognizably yours. The reference point is not what looks good on Pinterest. It's what feels true to how you actually work and who your ideal viewer would immediately recognize. Pick a visual direction and stick with it from the start. Inconsistency in your branding makes your channel look newer than it might be. And step 5 is to learn how to script for YouTube specifically. YouTube scripting is not the same as writing a caption or planning an Instagram story. The first 30 seconds of a video determine whether someone stays or leaves. The structure of the content determines whether they watch to the end. Retention drives everything the algorithm does with your video. Learn this before you film, not while you're already posting and wondering why the numbers are not moving. And step 6 is the most important. Don't give up. Don't expect that your first video is going to go viral and that you're going to get thousands of subscribers. This is extremely rare. Be realistic about your abilities and use each video you upload as a chance to learn and improve. I use each video as an opportunity to get 1% better, and I don't get disappointed if a video doesn't do well. I've learned something from it. So make sure that you're in it for the long haul. Now you have a full picture on what YouTube is and what it can do for your design business. I love making content for YouTube. It's satisfying to read comments where I've genuinely helped someone. The platform works. I'm testament to that. But the timeline is real. But the gap for a designer who shows up with genuine expertise and consistency is wide open. And if this has you thinking about what to do next, subscribe to come and find me over on this channel. There's a lot more where this came from. And if you haven't already, come and join me in the Design Success Circle, my free community. I'm dropping in resources there that will help you. Link is in the description. See you there.